Hush, little baby, don't you cry. Oh my gosh, I just delivered this beautiful baby and it latched onto my nipple right away, and my milk came in right away, and it's not painful, and it feels amazing. This is so natural. Wrong. Hey everybody, I'm here to discuss 5 facts about breastfeeding that no one talks about, no one tells you about, and you should know this before going into a delivery and coming out, or you are going to be shocked or surprised, or at least no one told me about this, so I was shocked and surprised. Fact number 1, your baby may not latch onto your breast right away. This is extremely common. In fact, that is more common than them latching right away as soon as you give birth. It's actually something that the mom and the baby need to practice to get good at together. And all these movies and these books and everything make it seem like a very, very natural, easy part of motherhood. In fact, it is the hardest part of motherhood, is getting them to latch, getting them to have a correct latch, because an incorrect latch can lead to mastitis, which is infection. It can lead to chapped, like just cracked nipples, bleeding nipples. There's lots of blood. There can be lots of blood. I had lots of blood. In fact, I had blood clots come out of my breast. I had my baby throw up blood because he drank the blood coming out of my breast. It took me 2.5 months to get my son to latch to my breast and to have a correct latch. It took lactation consultants coming in every single day from the day he was born to the day I got him latched. I was lucky. I was in a city where lactation consultants made home visits, and I just requested them to come every day because this was not working. Him and I were not making this work. And it also resulted in 7 mastitises. Get to know the symptoms of mastitis, because if you can catch it early, you will prevent a loss of your supply. So each infection caused me to lose part of my supply. So in the end of breastfeeding, I could solely feed from my left breast because my right one was completely gone because of all the infections. I tried everything. So please remember, it's not something that comes easily, and it's not something that may come right away, and you need to be patient. Number 2, your milk does not come in right away. This huge gush of milk just doesn't just pour out of you in like a beautiful waterfall into this baby's mouth. No. That doesn't happen. In fact, you get colostrum that comes first, which is a very nutritious, thick substance, which is really important for the babies to have. It's not essential because sometimes babies might not latch or get that. That's okay, they'll be fine. I probably didn't have colostrum, I don't know. Anyway, so it can come between 1, 2, 3, 4 days, and it depends on your delivery as well. If you had a painful delivery, you had an epidural, a C-section, anything like that, it takes longer for your milk to come in usually. Not always, usually. So with my second baby, I had the textbook baby. I latched right away and my milk came in right away. I think I deserved it because of my first experience, so it kind of balanced out to just having like an even-keeled experience. 2.5 months of trying and 7 infections, and then it worked right away. So you see how different it can be based on the babies? But I was prepared for it to take 2.5 months, so I was prepared for infections. I actually got prescriptions for antibiotics in preparation for the infections. That's what I did. I was in Mexico one time and I had to go to the pharmacy there because I got an infection from the improper latch in Mexico. That's how bad it was. So that is number 2. Your milk will not come in right away, or it may come in right away. In either case, be patient with yourself, be good to yourself, go see a lactation consultant. Number 3 is breastfeeding is not for everyone. Do not let society, other mothers, anyone tell you that you have to do this. It's always going around, people are always saying breast is best, breast is best, breast is best. I just think food is best. What you know yourself and you know your baby best, so you make the decision. You are in control. Do not let outside people influence you, make you feel guilty, make you feel bad, make you feel this big. Don't let it happen. You're an amazing mother. You're doing a great job. Don't let outside people get to you. If you don't want to breastfeed because it's too painful, if you don't want to breastfeed because you just can't be on demand like that, or whatever your reason is, go with it. It's your life. It's your choice, and you are doing an amazing job, fantastic job. Number 4, breastfeeding is not a contraceptive. You can get pregnant while breastfeeding. Yes, it's a smaller chance in comparison to if you were not breastfeeding, but there's still a chance. So if you need a pregnancy break, or you're done having kids, or whatever it might be, please use a different method of contraceptive, a correct method of contraceptive. Number 5 is formula is not the enemy. Formula is not the enemy. The hospitals make it seem like it's the enemy. The world makes it seem like it's the enemy, and they judge you on it. I breastfed both my kids. I still felt judgment about formula, and I wasn't even using it. I don't even care if I had to use it. I'd love to use it if I had to use it. Or if I didn't even have to use it, I would use it. But the thing is, breastfeeding is just easier because if baby's hungry, boop, pop them on. No bottles, no cleanup, no sterilizer, none of that stuff. So I really enjoy, when I got the hang of breastfeeding, I really enjoyed it. But back to the point of formula. Formula is not the enemy. If you have to use it, you have to use it. If you want to use it, you can use it. If you need to use it, you need to use it. It's not the bad guy. In fact, we are so lucky to have formula. Use it if you need to use it, if you want to use it. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Don't let the hospitals or any other group of people tell you otherwise. It's your life, it's your choice. Educate yourself. Decide what works for you or what you want to do. So for me, I really enjoyed breastfeeding once I got the hang of it. I absolutely loved it. With my first, it was a real big challenge, and I didn't like it for 2.5 months or 3 months. After 3 months, I loved it. I did it till he was 16 months. And currently, I'm doing it right now with my second. I love it so much. I just don't want to stop. I love breastfeeding. It's so much fun. I love the bonding. I love the eye contact. I love the intimacy of it. It's just so beautiful. I absolutely love it so much. I'd go till they're 2 years old. Don't tell my husband that because he thinks it's kind of weird that I think that. And another thing, a couple of facts about breastfeeding is it runs on positive feedback. Now, positive feedback is just a fancy way of saying the more you pump, the more you feed, the more milk that comes. So say, for example, you were breastfeeding and you decided, you know what, I don't want to pump. I want to get my partner to feed baby. So look, here's some formula, please feed baby. That's fine, but you should be pumping your breast while he or she is feeding, because you want to send the positive, you want to basically create positive feedback. Because if you don't pump or feed, your body's going to think, oh, I guess this mommy does not need as much milk, so let's not produce as much. Let's slowly taper it back. So you want to constantly give your body the idea that we're in positive feedback. We need milk. So even if you're not pumping, because I don't like pumping, I'll get into that in a second, but if you're not gonna feed or pump and you want to do a formula, please pump your breast anyways and store it. You can store it for cereal or oatmeal or in a bottle or whatever you want to do, because you need to make sure you're still producing a proper amount of milk so you don't dry up. Okay, about pumping. I tried pumping with my first because of the inability for him to latch, and we just weren't able to make it work for 2.5 months. So I pumped. It's a horrible feeling. I don't like it. I feel like I'm a robotic machine, and this just doesn't, it feels like I'm being assaulted by a machine. Actually, I don't like the feeling of it. And I did it anyways, and it was fine. I got through it, was fine. But it's just like, it kind of is a bit painful, and like your nipple gets like stretched out by two or 3 inches. Like it's like a black hole where you're getting sucked into it, but it's just your breast is getting stuck into the black hole. It's not my favorite thing, and it takes double time, because you're taking the time to pump, and then you're taking the time to feed. Whereas if you're just breastfeeding, then you're just breastfeeding. And then if you're just formula feeding, then you're just formula feeding. But pumping is a two-step process. You're pumping to get it out, and then you're feeding. So it depends. And I mean, it's always depends on your circumstance and your situation. You may need to do that like I did because the latch wasn't working, or you may just want to pump and store it so other people can feed your baby and bond with your baby. That's a beautiful idea. That's an awesome idea. So whatever works for you, please just look inside and do not let others influence you at all. Do your own research, do your own reflection on what you want the feeding process to look like for you and your baby. Because the more you look inside, the more you'll come up with the answer that works for you and that will make you happy. Not what will make other people happy. This world is full of so much judgment towards mothers. It's absurd. It's ridiculous. I can't stand it. It's horrible. I mean, motherhood is already a very selfless act, and it can be challenging, and on top of you've got people looking down on you and judging from the outside. Learn to put yourself in a beautiful bubble of just your family. And then, anyways, so if you have any question about breastfeeding, I love breastfeeding. I love the topic. I don't want to go on and on about it because I don't want this video to be too long. But if you have any questions, I've been through the ringer with breastfeeding, bottles, pumps, the whole thing. Message me, comments down below. Don't forget to subscribe. I would love to hear from you. Okay, thank you.